everybody, Don Sweet here. Just wanted to do a quick video. This video I wanted to talk about vaccine mandates. So, I know a lot of people are done with this topic and they don't want to talk about it, but I think it's important and it's something that we need to at least address. So what I want to do is mostly focus on government authority. Whether or not this is something we want the government to be able to do. Not whether or not what happened in the past was necessarily the right choice, but this is about the future, about what we should do going forward. So I want you to imagine the beginning of the pandemic, right? So 2020, Trump bought a whole bunch of hydroxychloroquine tablets. Hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of doses, I can't remember. But the point was that he was planning on having us take hydroxychloroquine, right? Now, imagine if he had forced employers to require hydroxychloroquine for their employees. How would you have felt about that? Would you have felt safe? Would you have felt like your government was taking care of you? Now, I don't know about you, but I would not have felt safe. I would have felt like that was a drastic breach of power, something that shouldn't happen. But it was something that was plausible. It was something that literally could have happened. It just didn't go that way. But imagine that it did. How would you feel? Would you want the government to be able to do that? Now, a lot of you are saying, it's different, totally different scenario. He wouldn't have been following science. That's not what the science was saying. But here's the point. It doesn't actually matter what the science was saying. What matters is the power imbued upon the president. So if you give the president that power, he can use it as he sees fit. He doesn't have to use it in coordination with science. He doesn't have to even consult a scientist. He could just use it. Well, we could throw in safeguards. We could say, well, there has to be a sign-off from this director of this agency that's a scientist, and this director of that agency that's a scientist, something like that. But let me ask you a question. Do you feel like the checks and balances in government currently are working? Is Congress holding the president accountable? How about Congress themselves? Are they following their own laws, their own budgets? Are they ethical? I think you'd be hard-pressed to say that they are. So as much as you could try to safeguard it away, I don't think that totally solves the problem either. Sorry, it's kind of hot out here. I got to cut this short, but the point is that this is a plausible hypothetical that I'm talking about. And if you're just going to brush it away, if you're not going to deal with it seriously, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. But we have to be careful about what we allow the government to take power of, because they're not going to give it back. Sorry, I got my notes down here. Okay, so, and if you're just like, well, no president would do that. I have trust, faith in the system. Well, ask yourself, of the last 4 presidents, how many have you hated? Most people have hated at least 2. If you're like me, you've hated 4. Some, maybe you've only hated 1, but you probably have had grave mistrust of at least one of the last 4 presidents. That's important. That's something you should be wary of. You don't want to give power to somebody when that somebody might be somebody you hate. Even if it's only 1 in 4, 25% of the time, you're going to have a president that you don't trust. You're going to have somebody that has that power that could require you to take who knows what. I'm sorry, but that's not wise. Last, I wanted to talk about the chickenpox vaccine. Now, I'm not saying that the chickenpox vaccine doesn't work, that it's bad. I'm just saying that the reason my kids had to take it going to school didn't actually have anything to do with their health. It wasn't because it was dangerous or deadly. I mean, granted, there's always corner cases where people die. That's true of any sickness. But my kids were healthy. They weren't going to die from chickenpox. So why did they have to take it? Why was it required by a government school? That had nothing to do with their health. It had to do with convenience of the school. It's very inconvenient to have kids out with chickenpox. It's very inconvenient to have, a mini plague go through the school, knocking kids out of school for weeks at a time. And while I understand that argument, and I get that that is practically a pragmatic thing that is true, it's not something that we should cede to the government's power. They shouldn't be allowed to require your children to take a drug, not for their own health, but merely for the convenience of government institutions. It's lazy, and it's dangerous. We shouldn't allow it. We should fight back. I wish I had fought back. Again, not that I necessarily wouldn't have had my kids take the vaccine. Maybe I would have, I don't know. But it wasn't an option. It wasn't a choice. I needed my kids to go to school. I want them to be socialized. I want them to have access to other kids. And so I had them take a drug. I gambled. I went, well, it's probably not bad. It'll probably be fine. But let's imagine 40 years down the line. Are there going to be more cases of shingles or fewer cases of shingles? Or will it be unchanged? We just don't know. The point is, we didn't do it for shingles. We didn't even do it for chickenpox. We did it for the convenience of schools. And that was a mistake. We have to be careful about what government powers we let them take because they won't give them back. We have to be careful of tyranny because it's plausible. It's happened before. It can happen again. All right, sorry for the audio quality. I still got to work on this mask and trying to record and not have it sound too echoey, but I hope you enjoyed the video, at least made you think about things, and realize that if we've had one president you've distrusted, then we shouldn't give any president powers you're scared of that one president misusing. All right, stay free, my friends. Bye.